Hello, everybody. I'm Rand Northam, Interim Communications Manager.
And I'm Reese Jones, Town Manager for Chapel Hill.
The Town Council held two regular meetings, of course, virtually in the month of January, one work session as well. And of course, as with all of our meetings, the council begins with an update on COVID-19. In January, the council was lucky enough to hear from the Orange County Health Department, Quintana Stewart, a representative from UNC Chapel Hill, and of course, getting an update on what the town is doing in response to COVID-19.
Yeah, Rand, as we all know, there was a significant increase in the number of cases that we saw here in Orange County coming out of the holidays, and it was a concern for everyone, not necessarily unexpected. We figured that might happen here as it was happening elsewhere around the country, and folks here in Orange have done such a great job since the beginning of this pandemic to limit the number of positive cases, to protect each other, themselves, and their families. The good news is despite that increase, a significant increase in cases, we have seen a number of cases go down since the spike that we had after the holidays. So the number of cases in Orange County, the positivity rate, hospitalizations, all of them are declining from where they were just a few weeks ago. So we're all very thankful for that. On the vaccination front, this still remains a relatively slow process. Orange County is prepared to do upwards of 600 vaccinations per day. However, the county has simply not received the doses it needs to address the long wait list that they have for the first two phases of the process. For several weeks, the county didn't receive any doses, and then they were guaranteed upwards of 200 doses per week and have now just recently received 600 doses during the second week in February. So we're seeing some progress there. We're hopeful that the county will see an uptick in doses to address the needs of our community. And of course, there are others who are providing vaccinations in our community as well, including UNC Healthcare. And soon we'll see pharmacies begin to offer vaccinations as well. So we're hopeful that things will pick up soon. For now, we're just asking folks to continue to be patient and follow the 3 W's to help keep us all safe.
Absolutely. And of course, you can find more information on what the town is doing and all kinds of links to helpful information about COVID-19 on our website. One of the items that the council discussed and passed was something that they shared they were very proud about doing, and that is the non-discrimination ordinance that is now in effect in the town of Chapel Hill. And that was a community-wide effort across Orange County.
It certainly was. The council's taken an important step forward in protecting the rights of all of our residents by passing this non-discrimination ordinance that now includes protecting the rights of our LGBTQ community. This new amendment ordinance reflects the community's shared values of equality, inclusion, and fair access, and also works to protect and preserve the health, safety, and welfare of all of our residents. And Chapel Hill, as you mentioned, worked very closely with our regional partners in Orange County and Carrboro and Hillsborough to become some of the first municipalities in the state to add this type of amendment to their non-discrimination ordinance. And so we're very excited about that, and we think it's an important step forward in protecting the rights of all of our residents.
Of course, the council showed a lot of pride in that, and the community weighed in on the pride for that as well. One other thing that the community showed a lot of interest in was that of the Climate Action Plan. The Climate Action Plan got one of the first full reviews by the town council in the month of January. We'll see it again coming up soon, but that Climate Action Plan is moving forward now.
And this was a plan that the council approved 2 budget cycles ago to move forward with. Spent a lot of time on it last fiscal year as we were going towards coming back to the council. Our plan was to come back to the council in 2020 to have a really good discussion about next steps. Some of that was slowed down because of COVID, but progress still continued on the plan. Met with the council back in the fall and got some really good guidance from the council, some great input on next steps. And we went to the advisory boards, had some more community engagement on the plan, and then came back to council and provided an update in January. A lot of focus on what we heard back from those advisory boards and how to move forward, focusing on issues like solar, electric vehicles and charging stations, stormwater management, improving alternative transportation options in our community, improving pedestrian and bicycle access. and then more efficient lighting and facilities for the town, and then ultimately for the community as well. So a lot of really good ideas have come out of this discussion over the course of the last year and a half. We're very excited about taking the next steps, which will include finalizing the plan and putting it before the council for consideration and adoption later on this spring. And then that will lead to identifying where we need to invest resources to help ensure that we're doing everything we can to try to address climate change in the ways that we can as an organization here with the town, but then also be a catalyst for seeing some change within the community as well.
Those are a few of the items we wanted to talk about from the January meetings. Also in early February, the council held its annual council retreat to take a look at the year ahead, start to talk about budget discussions as budget season is upon us. And that 3-day meeting has concluded. And I know the council discussed a lot of important topics during that.
Certainly did. We last few years, we've spent some time talking about our debt and how we manage our debt, and the opportunity for us to invest in other infrastructure projects and capital projects. So we spent some time on that Friday evening talking to council about where we are and where we may be able to go in the future and what our needs are. And then we spent some time on that Saturday morning discussing the overall budget situation that we find ourselves in currently. And what we've been able to accomplish with our goals and objectives over the last year, despite some of the limitations that we've had from a budget perspective, and then begin laying the groundwork for the important, very important public budget process that we'll be undertaking over the course of the next 5 to 6 months or so to get to approval for next fiscal year. So we'll have a lot of discussion with the public and the council in the next few months before the manager's budget is presented to the council in early May for further consideration and discussion before being passed in June. So the retreat's always a good opportunity for the council to come together and hear where we are from a budget perspective, and to provide some input to the manager and to the budget team as we are beginning to put together that budget for next year, understanding that we will be still dealing with some limitations associated with COVID and recovery efforts, and not really knowing where we're going to be 6 or 8 months from now or a year from now, but doing our best to try to forecast that and then also match up our investments with our needs in our community.
As always, you can find information about council meetings as well as the videos from the council retreat on our website. And we will be back with you for more from the brief but important council meetings that took place and are taking place in the month of February as well. Until next time, we ask you to spread kindness, not illness, and thank you for watching.
Be safe and take care.